Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Simple English Space, your comfy corner to learn English through real conversations. I'm Anna, and today I'm not alone. I'm here with my good friend, Maya.
Hi, everyone. I'm Maya. I'm really happy to be here again. Today, we have a very interesting topic to talk about.
Yes, today we are going to talk about your family. Family is one of the most common topics in English conversations. You will use it when you meet new people, when you introduce yourself, or even when you share stories about your life.
Exactly. If someone asks you, "Can you tell me about your family?" you should feel comfortable answering. So in this episode, we'll learn how to talk about family members, how to describe them, and how to use simple sentences to introduce them.
Let's start with some basic vocabulary. Family vocabulary is very important, so listen carefully. I'll say the word, then Maya will repeat it slowly for you. Okay. Father, father, mother, mother, brother, brother, sister, sister, grandfather, grandfather, grandmother, grandmother, uncle, uncle, aunt, aunt, cousin, cousin. Good. Now, if you want to make it more casual, you can say dad instead of father, mom instead of mother, grandpa instead of grandfather, and grandma instead of grandmother.
Yes! For example, I usually say, "My mom is very kind," instead of "My mother is very kind." Both are correct, but mom is more casual.
Great point. Now let's practice using these words in sentences. I'll give an example. I have one brother and one sister. My turn. My father is a teacher and my mother is a nurse. Perfect. And you, our listeners, you can also try. Think about your own family and try to make a simple sentence.
That's a very good practice. And remember, don't worry about mistakes. Just try to speak.
Right. Now let's move to describing family members. You don't just say who they are, you can also describe their job, their hobbies, or their personality.
Yes. For example, "My sister is funny. She likes to tell jokes." Or, "My grandfather is strong. He likes gardening."
Very good. You can use adjectives like kind, funny, friendly, hardworking, smart, patient, or tall, short, young, old. These are all useful to describe family members.
Let's try an exercise. I'll describe a family member, and you guess who it could be. Ready?
Okay, let's go.
This person is very caring. She cooks for the family, she helps with homework, and she always listens. Who is she?
That sounds like a mother.
Correct! Now your turn.
Okay. This person is the brother of your father or mother. He is your
Uncle. That one is easy.
Yes, very easy. So, listeners, you can also try this game with your friends. It's a fun way to practice family vocabulary.
Now, let's talk about how to introduce your family when you meet someone new. Sometimes people will ask, "Do you have brothers or sisters?" Or, "Can you tell me about your family?" You should be ready with a simple answer. For example, you can say, "I have two brothers. One is older and one is younger." Or, "I have one sister. She is in high school." Yes, and remember to use "I have," not "I am have." That's a very common mistake.
Good point. Say it with me, listeners. I have.
I have.
Very good. Now, let's give you a sample dialogue. We'll make it simple so you can listen and maybe repeat after us. This will be our first example conversation. Hi, Maya. Can you tell me about your family?
Sure. I have a small family. There are 4 people in my family.
Oh, who are they?
My father, my mother, my brother, and me.
Nice. What does your father do?
My father is a doctor. He works at the hospital. And your mother? My mother is a teacher. She teaches English at a school. That's wonderful. What about your brother? My brother is still young. He is 10 years old. That's a very good example. Did you hear how Maya answered? She gave the number of people in her family, then described each one. Yes, and you can do the same. Try to say how many people are in your family, then describe them. Let's give our listeners a tip. If you forget a word in English, don't stop. Try to explain in another way. For example, if you forget the word teacher, you can say, "My mother works at a school." People will still understand. That's a really useful strategy. And with practice, you will remember the exact words. Now let's add some more vocabulary. Extended family means not just your parents and siblings, but also your grandparents, uncles, aunts, and cousins. For example, I have 3 cousins. They live in another city. Yes, and here's another example. My uncle is very funny. He likes to tell stories. Perfect. And remember, you can also describe relationships by saying, "She is my father's sister," or "He is my mother's brother." That's another way to explain family members. That's true. Sometimes it's easier to explain like that if you don't remember the word aunt or uncle. Exactly. So don't worry, you always have another way to say things. All right, before we continue, let's practice pronunciation a little. Some students say brother wrong. Remember, it's brother, not broder. And cousin is another tricky word. It's pronounced cousin, not cowsin. Yes, those little details make your English sound better. Good. So far, we've learned basic family vocabulary, how to describe family members, and how to introduce them. In the next part, we'll talk more about cultural differences when people talk about family, and we'll give another example conversation. That's such a good example, Maya. Talking about how many siblings you have and what they like to do makes the conversation more personal. Now, let's help our listeners with another important detail: describing parents. People often ask, "What do your parents do?" Or, "Can you tell me about your mother and father?" Yes, and that's a very common question in daily conversations. For example, if someone asks me about my parents, I might say, "My father is a teacher. He works in a high school. My mother is a nurse. She works in a hospital. They are both very kind and supportive." That's perfect. It's short, clear, and easy to understand. And if you want to make it a little longer, you can add their hobbies or something they enjoy doing together. For example, you can say, "My father loves reading history books in his free time, and my mother enjoys gardening. On weekends, they like to go walking in the park." Exactly. That makes the conversation more colorful and interesting. Also, when you describe your family, you don't always need to use very long sentences. Simple and clear English is best, especially for beginners. Right. Now, let's share another example conversation for our listeners. This one will show how 2 friends might talk about their parents.
Hey, Maya, what do your parents do?
My father is a doctor. He works at a big hospital in the city.
That sounds interesting. And your mother?
She is a teacher. She teaches math in a little school.
Wow, so both of your parents have very important jobs.
Yes, they do. They work hard, but they also spend time with us.
That's nice. Do you do activities together?
Yes, we usually have dinner together every evening. It's our family time. That was a great example, short and natural. Our listeners can copy this structure when they talk about their own parents.
Yes, and I think another important thing is describing your family's daily routine. People are curious about how you spend time with your family.
True. For example, you might say, "In the morning, we usually have breakfast together. On weekends, we sometimes go shopping. In the evening, we watch TV together." These sentences are simple but very useful.
And sometimes people ask, who is in your family? It's a very common question. A good way to answer is to use the structure, there are number, people in my family. My father, my mother, my brother, and me.
That's right. And if you want to add more detail, you can say what each person likes to do. Like, my brother likes playing soccer. My sister enjoys reading books. My parents like going for walks.
Exactly. The more details you add, the easier it is for people to know you better. And it also gives you a chance to practice more vocabulary.
Speaking of vocabulary, maybe we should share some useful words and phrases related to family.
Great idea. Let's do that.
Okay, here are some basic family words: father, mother, parents, brother, sister, siblings, grandmother, grandfather, grandparents, uncle, aunt, cousin, nephew, niece.
And don't forget words like husband, wife, son, daughter. These are very useful when describing your family members.
Yes, and some helpful phrases could be, I come from a big family, or I am the youngest in my family, or I have 2 older brothers and 1 younger sister.
Those are really good examples. Our listeners can try to use them in their daily practice.
Let's give another example conversation, this time about describing siblings. Do you have any brothers or sisters, Maya?
Yes, I do. I have 1 older brother and 1 younger sister.
Oh, that's nice. What are they like?
My brother is very friendly. He loves playing basketball with his friends. My sister is still in school and she enjoys drawing.
That sounds fun. Do you spend time together?
Yes, sometimes we watch movies as a family. My brother always picks action films, but my sister prefers cartoons.
That must be interesting. I like that. Talking about siblings is always fun because you can share their hobbies and personalities.
Yes, and listeners, remember that when you talk about your family, you don't need to use complicated grammar. Just use simple present tense most of the time, like my father works in a school, my mother cooks dinner, my sister plays the piano.
That's right. Keeping it simple is the best way to start. Later, when you get more confident, you can use longer sentences.
Anna, I also think it's helpful to teach our listeners some questions they can ask when talking about family.
Oh yes, let's share some. Here are some common questions. Do you have any brothers or sisters? How many people are in your family? What do your parents do? Do you live with your family? What do you usually do together? Perfect. And if someone asks you, you can answer with short, clear sentences. For example, yes, I have 1 brother. There are 5 people in my family. My father is a driver and my mother is a teacher. Exactly. Practicing these questions and answers can really help learners feel more confident when talking about family.
You know, Anna, sometimes people also like to talk about their extended family, like grandparents, uncles, aunts, or cousins.
True. That's also part of family conversations. For example, I have 3 cousins. We usually play games together during holidays. Or, my grandmother lives with us and she tells us many stories.
Oh, I love that. Talking about grandparents and cousins is such a warm topic. It shows culture and tradition, too.
Absolutely. Okay, Maya, maybe we should remind our listeners that practice is key. They should try to introduce their family to a friend or write about their family in a notebook.
Yes, that's a very good tip. Writing about your family and reading it aloud is a great exercise.
That's a really great way to end our discussion today, Maya. We've shared so many examples, useful expressions, and simple vocabulary that our listeners can use when they want to talk about their families. I think this topic is so important because family is always part of our daily conversations.
Yes, I totally agree, Anna. And what I love about this episode is that we not only gave examples of sentences, but also complete dialogues. Those dialogues can help our listeners practice in real-life situations, like introducing their family members at school, at work, or even to new friends.
Absolutely. And I want to remind our listeners, don't be shy or afraid if you make mistakes when talking about your family in English. Mistakes are part of the learning process. The more you practice, the more confident you will become.
Exactly. I remember when I first tried to explain my family in English, I was nervous, but little by little, I got better. It's like exercising a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets.
That's a nice comparison, Maya. And before we close, let's give our audience some quick tips they can use right away. Number 1, start with simple sentences. For example, I have 2 brothers, or my mom is a teacher.
Number 2, learn family vocabulary step by step. You don't need to memorize everything at once. Just focus on parents, siblings, grandparents, and later you can add uncles, aunts, and cousins.
Number 3, practice with a partner. You can practice with your friend, classmate, or even talk to yourself in front of a mirror.
Number 4, listen and repeat. You can listen to this podcast again, repeat the sentences we said, and practice pronunciation.
And number 5, use English in real situations. If you meet a foreign friend or you join an English group online, try introducing your family in English.
Those are excellent tips. And remember, dear listeners, English is not only about grammar and vocabulary, but also about confidence and connection. Talking about your family is one of the easiest and most natural ways to connect with people.
That's true. So for today, we hope you enjoyed learning about how to talk about your family. We hope you practice often, try the dialogues we shared, and make them part of your daily English learning routine.
And don't forget, learning English is a journey, not a race. Take it step by step and celebrate your progress. Even a small improvement is something to be proud of.
Yes, and if you enjoyed this episode, please share it with your friends, classmates, or family members who are also learning English. Maybe you can even practice together after listening.
That's a wonderful idea. Thank you so much, listeners, for spending your time with us today. We really appreciate you, and we can't wait to meet you again in the next episode.
Until next time, keep practicing, keep smiling, and keep learning English with confidence.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you don't miss other videos.
Bye, everyone.
Bye!